What life pro tip have you learned from Reddit that you still use every time the situation presents itself? If you get a prepaid Visa gift card, save it with like a $1 or $2 and use it to sign up for free trials without having to worry about using your actual credit card. A long time ago, I remember reading a thread about signs that someone is interested in you. The one I remember the most clearly is that they'll look at you if they see or hear something funny. It helped me resolve exactly one potentially uncomfortable situation in my life, making it by far the most useful advice I have ever gotten from Reddit. I never put my card into a gas pump without furiously wiggling the reader first. I'm going to start doing that everywhere. Just had my debit card copied 2 weeks ago. It super sucked. Another good tip is to not use your debit card at all. Use a credit card and then pay it off before its due date every month. Consumer protections for fraud are much more robust on a credit card versus a debit card. In short, you can get fraudulent charges reversed on your credit card account a lot easier and faster than you can get your bank to return funds to your checking account. If someone won't shut up, drop something, they'll pause when you go to pick it up. Use that opportunity to speak as you pick up whatever you dropped. Instead of saying "I assumed," say "I was under the impression." It legitimately works wonders. Michael, it was my understanding I wasn't going to be managed. David Wallace, what gave you that idea? Michael, it was my understanding. X% of Y is equal to Y% of X. It's made my mental math so much easier. Can you explain this further please? 7% of 50 equals 50% of 7 equals 3.5. When I am walking on a sidewalk approaching a group of people heading towards me, I slow down to a pace slower than theirs, so they make room for me to pass. Someone on Reddit described how people subconsciously yield to whoever is going more slowly. Generally works. I'm pretty sure it was a life pro tip, might have been an AskReddit response, but it was in relation to a 6-second rule. Have to get something done and don't want to start it? Count down from 6 and force yourself to do it. I have no idea why it works, or why the number 6 was chosen. But I applied it to the menial tasks in my life I don't want to do, and it's worked extremely well. Taking something with me that belongs on the other floor every time I go upstairs or downstairs makes tidying up more efficient. In the restaurant business, we call this full hands in, full hands out. Never enter or leave the kitchen without something that belongs wherever you're going. Works in a lot of situations. Not feeling in the to field in an email until I am completely done with the email. Saved me a lot of badly written emails, half-finished emails, and emails I never sent because I had time to think better of it. Saran wrap/cling wrap goes in your freezer. That makes the product actually work. Wait, what? Yeah. It won't stick to itself and crumple when you try to tear off a sheet. So you can get an ice sheet and still wrap it around your bowl and it'll stick to that. Then when it warms up it functions like normal. If your printer is out of black ink and you need urgent printout, please change the color of the font number 010101, which is 99% gray. It will help. I like how the please makes this more of a life pro request instead of a tip. When you are trying to resolve an issue where someone else made an error, put the focus on the error and not the person. Example of this that I use almost every day at work. Someone sends me an email without the attachment. Instead of saying, "You didn't send the attachment," I say, "The attachment didn't come through. Please try sending it again." It doesn't seem like a huge deal, but people are more likely to become defensive or hostile when you blame them, even if it was their fault. It has saved me a lot of headaches at work. My father worked in human resources his whole career. His advice to me was, never put a person in a position where they have to defend themselves, even when you know they're wrong. It only makes them your adversary. Instead, ask what happened, or how can I help make your job better. Now that I'm in a career where I have authority over dozens of employees, I'm so grateful for this wisdom. Edit. The other great pearl of wisdom he gave me was, be silent. Ask the question you need to ask. They'll tell you the answer they prepared. Stay silent. They'll get uncomfortable and tell you something they hadn't prepared. Stay silent. They'll accidentally tell you the truth. Can't believe I went 28 years of my life before finally learning this on Reddit. If you spread your cheeks as you sit down, you have a lot less wiping to do. My wife thinks it's super weird that I've always done this. It's only been used once, but when you're caught in a riptide, swim parallel to shore, not directly forwards in order to escape. About a week ago my brother and I were out in the ocean, and a wave crashed over us. My hair was plastered to my face and I couldn't see. In the time that I took to get the hair out of my eyes, we realized we had been pushed out and couldn't touch the ground at all. We were getting further and further from shore. We were struggling for about 20 minutes against the current until he remembered that life pro tip, and we both swam sideways like crazy. My cousin had luckily alerted our uncle, and he was able to get us back in once we could touch the ground again. Get a dash cam. Fortunately, I haven't had to use it to defend myself, but the thought of not having it when I need it brings me absolute anxiety now. There have been a few instances where I've almost hit idiot/drunk pedestrians, and if I didn't have that dash cam running, I would have been very screwed if I did hit them and they lawyered up. Knowing that I have a dash cam running also improves my motorist habits significantly. Keep the music down, obey the speed laws, don't use the phone, no evasive lane changes, and no speeding up to try and beat a yellow light where I obviously won't. With the dash cam, I drive like there's an insurance broker riding shotgun and a jury in the backseat. If you accidentally offend and/or anger someone, when apologizing follow this formula. State what you did, why it was wrong and how you'll prevent it from happening in the future. Pre-tangling your headphones. Grab both ends with one hand, your finger in the middle, pull tight and twist approximately 9 times, then let them naturally curl up and make sure you don't run anything through the loop when you slide them in your pocket. When you take them out, they may look tangled, but will unravel perfectly. What kind of black magic is this? It tricks the headphones into thinking they've already been tangled, which alleviates their malice. When you have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, close one eye until after you finish peeing and turn off the bathroom light. The eye that was closed will be able to see in the darkness and you will be able to get back to your room without stubbing your toe or tripping. Pee in your bed, makes it warm and cozy. My favorite has been, if I'm planning on buying something, but last minute decide against it, still take the money and put it in savings. Even if it's $5 to $10. I was ready to spend the money anyways, so why not save it? This has really helped me build up a small savings in the last year. I had writer's block for the longest time. What got me out of it was one piece of advice that can work for nearly anything. Write one sentence and see where it goes. Don't overthink it or criticize the ideas, just jump in and do it. It really works, and some of my best writing came from using that technique, letting the plot write itself and break away from my initial ideas of how I thought it was supposed to go. It can apply to anything. Just one step, one phone call, one new accomplishment outside of your comfort zone. Jump in and get going. If you are nervous about any kind of public speaking, volunteer to go first. You get it done and over with quickly, you are able to relax for the rest of the class, conference or what have you, and most importantly your audience, depending on the setting, is too worried about their own presentation/speech to care about yours. I also paired this with advice to bring visual aids. Example being, I needed to explain why my state is unique. So I brought photos for each table to pass and shots of maple syrup. Pretty sure only the facilitator was looking at me the entire time, everyone else was busy looking at photos and taking shots of maple syrup. It's fine to add an explanation after an apology, however do not preface it with "but," because then it just sounds like you are trying to make excuses. Being secretive about winning the lottery can save your life and potentially others. Never claim large lottery winnings yourself. Set up a trust or company, or get a lawyer to do it for you. Claim the lottery winnings as the trust/company. No one will be able to know you won the lottery unless you tell them, and most importantly, just don't tell anyone. Or, yeah, no, don't play the lottery. Can't remember when I saw it, but using chopsticks to eat Cheetos, popcorn, Doritos, etc. while using the computer. keeps your keyboard from getting quite as disgusting. When giving advice, use the phrase perhaps in replacement of I think, so it comes off more as a suggestion and not an opinion. It will be more likely to be heard and taken into consideration. Perhaps, therefore I am.